Cy Smith coming to you on a Friday. Every Friday is Love Our Elders Day. So we loving our senior citizens. Hopefully you guys made a phone call just checking in with the Elders Matter. And that's what we do every Friday. We have a senior citizens conference call, 1 o'clock. Anyone in the world is welcome to join that call. So this video here on the third Friday of the month. Today is our Accountants Day, so all accountants around the world, kudos to you. Hopefully, you checked in and heard from us today. Want to talk about Chicago as the global headquarters for what we do and how it matters. What I'm about to show you with Africa. And I'm 45 years old, and I'm just learning of these 80 townships or towns in our 20 African countries. And at 45, if God allow me to see 45 more years, I hope to visit, if not all before God called me home, all 80. I would love to visit 40. And I'm 45 years old. I think being hopeful about experiencing and traveling keeps me going. I'm not sure about you, but I'm a travel walk. Like I love meeting new people and going places. So I'm about to talk about these different places in Africa, and it's similar to what we've done in the U.S. We took the northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast in every jurisdiction, and the reason we do that so that we have all sides covered. That's the key, that we got all sides covered, and that's why we broke it up. So even in the continent and in the 20 countries in Africa, we broke it up into those four chunks so that we know what's happening on all four sides of that, whatever the jurisdiction is. So let's get into it. Before I go to share screen and show you what we've done in the 20 Chicago Black zip codes, I want to first talk about the horrible video that was released 2 days ago regarding Miss Young, I believe her name is, being in her home and her home being raided by the police department, and the uproar that rightfully followed that, which it should be, it has to be a response by the community. So I'm grateful that the community did respond. Now, first and foremost, the fact that the video just came out is a problem, and it says something because um, that means until they tell us, and the they being people in power, we're not able to respond on our own, meaning they're in control. I have a problem with that. I think we have to have our organized watchdogs who this is all they do is watch and alert the rest of us to stuff like that. I know there's calls to remove Mayor Lightfoot. Here's what I would say. We, as a people who've been oppressed for a long time, and our ancestors been oppressed, and we have to both watch and pray. We had to both fight and build. And unfortunately, I see more energy toward fighting and kind of back burner on building. Pete Buttigieg is about to become the national head person for transportation. Tons of money is about to flood cities all over, bridges, roads, you name it. And I'm, as a black man, I can't tell you if we're in position to capitalize on what I call Team Five, which is the trades. I couldn't tell you with confidence that we're in position, that we have earth moving equipment to do bridges. I couldn't tell you. I don't believe we do. So, what I'm very, very uh, worried about is that we're doing so much fighting, and we're calling for people to step down. And the challenge for that is, what do we have in place to replace? So if you disrupt some things that might be bad, but you don't have nothing to go in there, you can ultimately shoot yourself in the foot. So again, we need to fight and hold Mayor Lightfoot accountable and all these politicians accountable. That's the fight. But we do got to build. And with Pete Buttigieg getting ready to take over transportation, January 20th, money is about to flood. Do we know on our block who's into Team Five construction? Do we know in our church who's into Team Five construction? Because if we don't know that, how do we get those people in our church and our households that's into construction talking to each other, building a relationship with each other, seeing what assets they have collectively, so that then they can put them assets together broader, and go after the bigger contracts and projects. So that bothers me, that I know we're emotionally charged about this incident, but that we're not building the right rapport, and so we can really, make sure that we're not on the bottom. So kudos to everyone that's keeping that fire out there. I just wish we were being more strategic about it, and I would love to be a part of that. So feel free to uh, loop me in 312-405-8844. All right. So I come back around to that, but let's get to these videos. I want you guys to see this. I want you guys to see what I'm about to show you, because for me, um, Africa and what happens in Africa matters to our struggle here in the US. What happens in Africa matters to what we deal with here in the US. And I'm going to talk about why I feel like that. So before I open that screen up so you guys can see me full face, let me explain this to you before I go there, before I pull the screen up. Um, we, as Black people, been through a whole lot. And we're sort of damaged goods, each of us. Some people went through sexual trauma growing up. Some people went through drug addiction growing up, spousal abuse growing up. So whatever your plight was growing up, it's impacted you right now. It's impacted you now. And so when we look at the shooting, the killings, the carjackings, the rapes, the missing children, you name it, the closing of schools, education, the young people appearing to be lost. When you look at all of this stuff happening, it affects your mental and your spirit. So when we talk about getting together to address these major issues. Some of these issues that I just named are generational. Your great granddaddy used to be, involved with stuff like this. So these are major challenges, and the conscious Blacks want to get together to fix it. And I'm gonna tell you, on this video, I wanted to ask you to pump the brakes there. Let's pump the brakes before we get together to fix these major problems. um, those who are in chemistry, who study chemistry, and all the things that mix together to make dangerous combinations. If you put ammonia and you put bleach together, those that's gas that comes out of that can kill you. You don't mix that together. That can be a dangerous combination. Sometimes getting passionate Black people together can be a dangerous combination, because we both come from a passionate place that sometimes is rooted in struggle. And so we may feel very strongly about one particular aspect of a subject, while another person who came up differently, had a different degree of abuse, feel passionate in another way. So getting them together could be like ammonia and bleach, could be toxic, and it's not even necessary. We don't even need to have them together physically. Like, and that's where what we do, what we've built already, comes into play. And I'm saying this because I want to introduce this idea to you right here and now, that we need less passionate people involved. Less passionate people. You need your passionate people, but we also need what I'm calling just professional people. Professional people are people who might, care about what they do, might not care about it, but because they gave their word that they're going to do this job, they're going to do the job. 8 to 5, they go do 8 to 5. 9 to 5, they go do 9 to 5. So they're not going to be probably doing over and beyond, but they're at least going to do what they said they were going to do. So they're going to be professional. And the reason I say this as a new concept is because if we got a room full of passionate people, then that's a battle. That's ammonia and bleach, because everyone's passionate and they can't even hear each other because they want to get what they have endured growing up or went through out there. And so we need professional people and passionate. So if you got 5 professional people who's just going to do what they're being asked to do, now you get one passionate person with those 5. Then you get another 5 professional people and get the next passionate person. But don't put the 2 passionate people together, because that's what happens in our Black America right now. Whether we talking about Miami, Cleveland, Detroit, St. Louis, we got passionate people and they're in the meeting and they over talking each other. They battling, they upset with a person not seeing it their way. And it's because we got more, some people say more chiefs than Indians. I'm gonna say we got more passionate people than professional people who just gonna do the work and not take a side. They're just gonna do what's being asked of them. So we need to mix that up and not just have all the passionate people out there. So I said that because of what I'm about to show you with Africa. So when we talk about coming together as a people, who who go come together? Come together for what? What they go accomplish when they come together. And what I'm saying for 25 years, 26 years, I'm slow to bring us together because I understand the hurt, abuse, and bitterness in all of us. And so I know don't bring us together prematurely. Don't mix that bleach and ammonia. What I want to encourage us to do first is build capacity. So capacity is the ability to hold, right? So we need to build capacity versus fixing things. We want to get into fixing something and we haven't even developed the capacity to work together. So what I mean by that is you got people who say we want to stop the drugs on our block. We're going to stop the gangs on the block. And the person who's saying it got some problems themselves. They son and daughter might be involved with the stuff, right? So what I'm saying, instead of going after fixing something right away, we got to get this person who's passionate to know how to work with someone not passionate. Get this person who's passionate to know how to take advantage of a person who's just as passionate but brings something different to the table. In other words, the chemistry of the team. And not everyone knows how to do that. It takes some training and some being dynamic to know how to get the right synergy so you can get production out of that unit, who 2-person unit, 100-person unit. So when some people criticize me saying, "Si, I don't see what y'all doing," it's because you don't understand the need to build capacity. You want to go and be seen. You want to be on TV. You want people to see we doing something. And I'm the total opposite of that. People are gonna experience what we're doing. When we help that single mom out, they're experiencing that. Don't matter if it makes the news or not. So what I know is important is capacity. I'm a Navy guy. Whether we at war or not, the US deploys warships overseas so that we have the capacity, the ability to go to war if we need to, because our ships are over there every 6 months. They rotating in and out. Every 6 months, different ships are going. And so if something happens, we on station, we ready to go. And everyone on that ship been ready, getting ready a whole year so that they can be deployed and be ready to go to war if need be. So what I'm saying, when I look at Chicago and all the challenges, we not ready. We not ready. I would say we less than 20% ready because what I see is a lot of passionate people and I don't see the professionals. I don't see people who go do the work. I see all the people who go lead. When I look and I see on your block, you don't even know your neighbors. You got you asking in the group, we need people that are retired, and you got retirees on your block. I get it. I get it. People don't like talking to their neighbors. They don't want their neighbors in their business. I get all of that. What I'm saying though, this is what we do, National Block Club University, with the organizing and your help. The way we organize, we can help you without you having to expose yourself to your neighbors who you think might break in your house when you leave. We understand that. But again, this is where we come in at, where we can have that relationship with your neighbor whose son you think might break in when you leave, but that son loves carpentry. So when you link us, we get that son you worried about with our retired carpenters. Now he not there to break in. He with the retired carpenter doing woodwork. So it's bigger than you, is my point. It's bigger than you. So we're going back to what I want to drive before I show you these slides. The capacity is important. We must build capacity. When you see those pictures of those 50 people who pulled together $100 for 30 days, that's $5,000 with no meeting, all done over the phone. That's capacity. Each picture you see there, them people, they agreed. We had a conversation with them. They agreed and then they executed. Three things happened. We engaged them, we gained agreement, and then they executed on something. For all 50 pictures. We're 5 people away from having 100 people who did that. So that means we have our own line of credit, our own bank, if you will, where we can pull together $5,000 through the 50 people because we've built that capacity. And that capacity stays with us as long as we maintain good rapport with those 50 people. And as we go to other cities, to Gary, to Detroit, we keep building economic capacity to pool money together. Sometimes when we out fighting, we want to fire someone, we want to hold people accountable. We're not building capacity. So you have 50 people out there at a press conference, at a news conference, doing something that's we need to have done, but we haven't built the economic capacity to pool money together to bail somebody out, to do whatever is necessary. So I'm just saying we need both. We need to fight, but we also need to be building. And capacity is what matters the most because it allows you to send the right people to the fight. When you have this list, and this is why you hear me arguing, the most important thing we can do, in my estimation, is keep doing the inventory, every single person inventory, so we can know who's excellent in gardening, who's excellent in food, who's excellent in carpentry, who's excellent. What children want to become a carpenter? What children want to become a lawyer? We got to build that capacity. And so, anyway, let's go to these slides. And I started off saying to you, we can't self sabotage by coming together to fix something instead of coming together to build capacity. That's one thing. Because when we come together on something we all passionate about, now we infighting. If we come together around something that there's no debate about, now we can get to know each other. Because I'm not pressured under the passion that I have. So when we talk about 100 pennies to Africa, 100 pennies to Africa, that's $1. I'm not sure how many people are passionate about that. So there should be no debate. There should be no argument. That is the easiest way to at least start building the working together capacity, that we can work together, because it's a objective that's easy to do. So now let me pull the slide up so you can see exactly what we have. 20 Chicago zip codes have been organized to become little Africa in some sense or another. Now, I want to do it this way because I know you guys can't see this, so I'm gonna stretch this out so you guys can really see this. I'm recording it, so this will be on YouTube at some point. And so let's stretch this out. So let's stop sharing now, and then I'm gonna share it in a different way so you guys can see it in a bigger screen. So let's go right here to advanced. For those who are really, really good at Zoom, I'm getting that. I'm catching up with you. So before long, I'll be right there with you. Okay, here we go. So let me do it this way, because now, okay, it's coming up right now, you guys. While I'm waiting on that to come up, so you're going to be seeing these 20 African countries. And what we've done is we've sectioned off each of the African countries to 4 sections: Northwest, Northeast, Southwest, Southeast. And the reason we did that is so that no matter what part of that country they come from, we already got ourselves arranged, organized to be able to onboard them. This goes back to what I was saying about capacity. We built the ability to hold whoever we meet over there. We built the capacity to hold them with us because we got these 4 sections: Northeast, Northwest, Southwest, Southeast. So that's what we are working with here. Now, I don't know what you guys can see. I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. So we starting with Congo. And I want you guys to know, whenever we hear about someone getting shot, killed, stabbed, and raped, we go by the zip code. What zip code was that in that this occurred in? So I think you guys can see this pretty big here, pretty large. Let's see. I'm about to check it with you guys so I can see what you guys see. Okay. Yeah, I see it with you, and it's okay. That's a little bit better to see. Yep, that's a little bit better to see. Okay, so here we go. This is zip code 60615. 60615. That is in the Washington Park, High Park area here. Let's see if I can do some annotations on here while if I can do that, that'll be amazing. And I think they may let me do it. So we're about to rock and roll. Yes, indeed, you guys. So here we go. I'm gonna draw circles. So right here, this circle is 47 to 50 of Drexel to Wabash. That's the northwest part of zip code 60615. This section here, and this is in Congo. I mean, this zip code is linked to Congo in Africa, and this section here is Little Congo with a K. All right, and what I just spent majority of my time talking to you about was, why does this matter? Why should people care about Africa? We worry about the shooting and killing. We worry about the woman house being raided. And what I'm saying to you guys is, let's build capacity first. And if we go focusing on the issue because we're passionate about it, we're not going to be able to work together seamlessly. So it's like for people that play sports, play basketball, it's called moving without the ball. Some people need the ball in their hands to feel secure about themselves. So they need to have an issue to fight that they can be, feeling like they have an impact. Then there are people who know to be behind the scenes and do all the things necessary to get to that place where you can see it at. Africa affords Black people a way of doing moving without the ball. It allows us to get together, organize, find out who's who. And what we're asking from people is something that should be no debate: 100 pennies. That's $1. If we come in and we say we need to fight for education, no, I think we need to fight for safety. No, I need to think we need to fight for the children. No, I think no. Here we're saying 100 pennies to Africa. Well, what that's going to do, and what I'm saying, is going to begin us having a relationship where we can start with something we can agree on that's not going to hurt us. 100 pennies to Africa is not going to hurt us. So as we do this and we push this, what we're really doing is getting to know the people right here on 47 to 50 of Drexel to Wabash. On the northeast side, here go another one. This is 47 to 50 of High Park to Ellis. That's on the northeast side. So as we meet the people there, we're going to meet teachers, doctors, lawyers in these blocks. And again, we get to find out what they're passionate about, but we also say, hey, we need to pull this 100 pennies together to help Africa out. So that's one aspect. Hopefully that resonate with you. This is our leader, Joe. So he's already on the scene doing this inventory that's necessary. But here's the game changer. See that? Business drop off location. Part of this economic capacity we need to build, it doesn't exist. I don't know nowhere in our 20 cities this exists, where when you go to McDonald's, they got the red Ronald McDonald House charity bucket in front of every cash register. You drop your change and money in there. That money collectively comes together and they do Ronald McDonald House charities. Think about these blue buckets. We have 500 of these blue buckets. We're going to get these blue buckets into our businesses in Chicago, then in Gary, then in Atlanta. 500 buckets. And we're going to have in every business that agree to work with us the capacity for you to drop your 100 pennies in, your 10 dimes in, your 20 nickels in, your 4 quarters in, as frequently as you like. You're going to have that ability to do that when you go into a Black business. Like, that's not happening now. And now we get to happen across the whole city, then across the whole nation. So what we did, if you look here, this is in the zip code 60615. And this here, I'm going to circle it right there. It said restaurants and beauticians for this first box. Here it says beauty supply stores, nail salon, daycares for the second business. Here it says barbershops and lounges for that business. And if I move, I'm gonna lose you. So I don't want to go to that fourth one. But the fourth one is corner stores, book authors, anyone into the construction trades. So you'll be able to go into your zip code, any of these four businesses, and drop off your 100 pennies to Africa. What we really did was found a way to get something that we could have a quick victory with, a quick agreement with, depending on whatever you're going through, struggle, eviction, whatever is happening. When you help someone else less fortunate than you, you prepare yourself for even greater blessings. So when we think about Africa, we got one of our brothers, his rent, he's behind on 3 months. His rent is $5 a month. So when you help this brother with rent, so he don't have to worry about that, what you're doing is saying, man, you're showing yourself approved that people do the same thing to you. Don't be just a taker. All you always got your hand out. You never sowing seeds back in. And when we think about the continent of Africa, because of racial exploitation, the U.S. dollar goes far there. It stretches. So again, 100 pennies is not going to break us. It gives us a victory. It allows us to sow seeds back into the homeland. It puts us on par with other groups in America. Latinos send money home, back home. The Europeans send money back home. They got foreign exchange programs. We're the only ones isolated with no connection back to Africa. So it's important that we do this just for the spiritual connectivity back to the homeland, so that we're not the only group here isolated away from the rest of the world. So now that I kind of explained the makeup of this, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clear this out and we're gonna go through the different neighborhoods. This is 60615. That's Washington Park. Washington Park is Little Congo. Now let's go to the rest of them. Let's go through this so you guys can see. I'm gonna clear this out. Okay. So that is Congo. This is 60617. This is Tanzania. Tanzania, Little Tanzania, which is Calumet Heights in Chicago. Chrissy is our leader there. And Kig, I'm gonna butcher these names. I'm gonna have to watch some YouTube videos to get it right. But let's just say Kigoma, Dog Ma, and then Song Ji, and then Darce Salam. Butchering all of that, but you guys can come on and do it better. But all right, when you look at this, these are the four towns inside the continent of Tanzania, inside the country of Tanzania, and this is where they are. That Kigoma is in the northwest part of Tanzania. Dodoma is in the northeast part. And if you look down here, you see in the zip code 79th to 88th, Crandon to Cornell is on the northwest side of that zip code. So when anyone here we meet, we find out they're a teacher, doctor, lawyer, nurse, laborer. And once we know that, that information allows us to build capacity, and then it also allows us to collect the 100 pennies from them that goes to help Africa. So they get a victory of helping the homeland. They get organized, and then at the same time, now they get to find out, here's the black business, the restaurant in my zip code that I can go drop this loose change off at inside my own zip code. So that's all the stuff happening in that zip code. And in each of these places, this here is 60619. This is Angola. Little Angola is Chatham. It's violence happening all over Chatham right now. And when you think about the future, ask yourself, what's coming over there that can bring like this zip code together? Angola Museum can do that. If we put an Angola Museum there, and you got stuff from Luanda, uh, Lukapata, Lubango, and Lulana, and you got artifacts and history there. Now we get to connect with our people in a different way. When we got Captain Hard Times restaurant there supporting this with the bucket in there, copycat printing with the bucket in there, it allows the people of that zip code to go into these black businesses, drop their loose change out, help Africa, feel good about themselves doing it, and help move us closer to a physical museum that'll have these different townships on display. That's Chatham. This is Roseland. Roseland is linked to South Africa, so it's Little South Africa. Then you look at Soweto, Port Nolly, Cape Town, Durban, and you think about Legends on 112th in Michigan being a barbershop that might let us be a dropout. You think about Bass Furniture, 112th in Michigan, might be a drop-off location. It allows the residents of Roseland, 60628, to walk into a black business, put their loose change in, and know they help in South Africa. And then it tells you the northwest side of zip code 28 is 95th to 113th, Lafayette to Halsted. Then on the southwest side, 114th to Argyle Gardens, Lafayette to Halsted. That's the southwest side of that zip code. So these are a lot of blocks. We got superstars living on these blocks. And the question is, are we fighting or building? Every time we get to know people on the block, we're building, because we're going to take that information and get it organized so that it can be duplicated, multiplied. with other people who doing the same thing. This is Woodlawn. Woodlawn is Little Zimbabwe. Governor Claudette Reddick is over there. We got Crusader newspaper there. We got a Black Corridor right there on King Drive. Taylor Wright Cleaners is right there. Crusaders right there. Parkway Hoagies is right there. We got, of course, the Crusader newspaper there. We got the laundromat there. Like that's a little black mecca of black businesses right there between 63rd and King Drive to 66 and King Drive. That we're not honoring it. But again, when we get the blue buckets in these businesses, now you get to go there, drop off your loose change. If guys hanging out, you get to ask that guy, what you into? Well, I like carpentry. Okay, good. Call this number because they go get you with a carpenter. So you become a walking resource when you're moving around. And so again, Zimbabwe, you got Lake Karba, you got Harar, Bulawago, Wayo, Mutar. And I know our sister Salua probably saying, "Sai, you butchering our names." She's our queen. We send the pennies to in Africa, but hey, don't shoot me. But look at what that can do to Woodlawn to build, boost black morale, and have us on our way to being feeling like we're a part of something bigger than ourselves, bigger than what our local organizations are doing, because we are part of a global network. Then we got 60643 Southwest Side, where they just shot and killed the firefighter, retired firefighter Williams. This 60643 zip code. This zip code is Little Botswana. Sister Governor Diana is our leader over there. Our brother Art Cheston is on 117th and Western. He is definitely a big supporter, already on board with us. And so you get to go to his dentist office, drop off your loose change, know that you're helping Botswana out. And again, we got Botswana sectioned off into the four towns in this whole continent based on their side inside of Botswana. If they're on the northwest side, if they're on the northeast side, if they're on the southwest side, it shows you right here. And linking them to our black businesses allows us to organize. Then we got Zambia is linked to South Shore, 60649 zip code. The northwest side of this zip code is 67 to 76 South Shore Drive to Cornell. And so again, when people go to whether it's foodie spot right across from the Mars, they're on Stony Island, whether it's they go to our sister Candace Tax Shop, 1700 East, whether they go to any of the black businesses, Cage Memorial Funeral Home, and drop off that loose change, it goes to support, in this case, Zambia, and it gets us organized again. Then we got Little Nibia. This is linked to Bronzeville. You got Walvis Bay. That's on the northwest part of Nibia. And so we got several black businesses in zip code 60653. We're working to get them on board so that they can be a drop off location for these buckets. So you can just stay in your zip code, drop off this loose change, and have global global impact global impact. And as we continue to do this, then we see us moving toward the museums. Now we go to the west side, the yellow region. And so this is zip code 60612, East Garfield Park, where the Bulls Stadium at, Malcolm X College, that area there. So this is Little Ghana. And so Byron Dickens is our governor for over there. We got Johnny's Cafe, 520 Southwestern, right off the blue line there. And so when we get him on board, then when you drop off your loose change at his cafe, now you're helping Ghana out. And this is important to have that 100 pennies, and you got 1,000 people dropping off 100 pennies. That's a big deal. That's $1,000 going to Ghana from one zip code. And so I'm gonna go through a little bit more quicker. You get the gist of it. Little Senegal is North Lawndale, 60623 zip code. And the same format right there. We got black businesses there. We want to get them linked in so North Lawndale can do that. Then we got Sierra Leone. Um, Freetown is on the northwest part of Sierra Leone. That's zip code 60624. That's Garfield Park. Sandra Brinson is our leader for over there. The quite a few black businesses in this zip code. Again, we want them to accept the blue bucket. Then we got Little Nigeria, 60639, North Austin. And Lagos, we got quite a bit of links and relationships there. Governor Tiffany is our leader. We got several black businesses. We want to convince them of putting the blue bucket in there. And we want to always remind people, hey, Ronald McDonald have their internal way of extracting loose change and making it make a difference for them. Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, that's linked to Chicago's South Austin 60644 zip code. Same format. We got quite a few black businesses there as well. Then the last one on the west side is Western Sahara. This is being disputed. Morocco is claiming it. Parts of it. You got Algeria. So it's different things happening. And again, 60651 is our zip code that is should be in the know of that, because we want to be able to have positive impact there. But we do know our 100 pennies to Turkey Chop restaurant, once they're on board, means your money getting over there into Western Sahara. Then the last six is the south side. We go to Ethiopia. Major conflict happening in the Tigray area. But the 60609 zip code, which is New City area, is the headquarters for Little Ethiopia. Ken Atwood is our leader there. It runs from 35th to 44th Troop to Western. That's the northwest part of the zip code. And so it's the same format. Then we got 60620. That's Little Egypt. 60620. So you guys heard of Cairo? That's on the northeast side of Egypt. Mut, southwest side of Egypt, and Luxor on the southeast side. The other one was southwest. Sorry about that. And look at the block. 75th to 84th Troop to Western is the northwest part of that zip code 60620, whereas 85th to 94th Lafayette to Elizabeth is the southeast part of that zip code. Our leader is Governor Francis over there. District leader is Pam Dominguez. And we got BJ's 8704 Loomis. We hope to get them on board. You can drop off your loose change into that bucket over there. We have B&B Ice Cream. We're trying to get in touch with them. So the point is, the black businesses accepting these buckets is going to give you the ability to stay in your zip code and put resources and help the continent. Then we got 60621. This is Little Sudan. Brother Hassan is over there. Our leader is Chastity Freeman. We got Amber Cafe, 1149 West 69th Street. That's a restaurant. We want to get them on board. We want to get the hardware on board. It's two hardwares in that zip code we want to win over and get them on board. And the key is to put the buckets there so that you can have a local place you can drive and walk to sow seeds into, in this case, Sudan or whatever your sister African country is. Then we have Little Djibouti. That's linked to Marquette Park, 60629. And so again, you look at Northeast, Northwest, it's consistent with the zip code and with in the continent. We got Tracy Thomas, our leader over there, Terry Graham and Mother McFadden. Then we got 60636, which is West Inglewood. This is Little Somalia. Little Somalia. And the key here, Governor Denise King is our leader. We got H&M Esquire Dry Cleaner 6825 Southwestern. He's there. We're trying to win him over with the blue bucket. We're trying to win over Test Beauty Supply down there on 55th near Ashland. We got Price Insurance, our sister Cherise Price, 6245 or 54 South Ashland. As we, and she's on board, we just got to finalize a few things. But as we gain agreements with black businesses to host these buckets, giving you the local ability to go local and put seeds into your sister African country. Then we had Little Kenya. That's the Ashburn, Wrightwood area, 79th and Western. Um, uh, as you can see, same format. Four different countries over there. Nairobi is where I was. Mombasa is where I was in 1994. They're both on the south side. One is on the southwest side, the other on the southeast, inside of Kenya. So your pennies go to support them there. And we're trying to get Dan Soul Food Restaurant been on board fully. And we're trying to get Headhunters Barbershop there. We're trying to get Nika's Mini Mart, B&B Donuts. So as we get these black businesses on board, it will make it easier for us as a people to go into 80 black businesses across the city, 80, and put loose change in and have it make a difference all the way in Africa. So I just went through all 80 with you. Now let me put a button on this. To tie this into the analogy I gave with the airplane and opening up the door prematurely, what I'm saying is we need to work together, but we have to be careful who's working together. You have to be careful when they work together. The door of the airplane must open, or people will stay trapped. So the door must open, but the door shouldn't open in flight. So what I'm saying, we should work together, but we don't have to work together in a traditional sense or right now. What we need to do more than anything else to me is build. We gonna fight. I think sometimes they laugh at us because they know we go fight and then die down. So I say let's build. And right now, if I don't have, since I'm the head administrator right now, if I don't have your son, your daughter, what they do for a living, what they're trying to get done, if I don't have that information, I can't process it and get it to people who can help. And vice versa. You have people that if they know what we're talking about, then they can help us. What I'm saying is we do need to build the capacity to share each other's information so we can be just like the Navy is ready to deploy no matter what, so that we can respond if there's a conflict. We don't want to be 2 years away from an incident when the media finally release it. Now we're responding because if we're organized, I always go back to the Navy. We'll have people on deployment ready to respond because they've been waiting all year long to deploy. And so that goes back to um, what we're doing, what we're asking you to do to augment and help that. If your last name begins with V, W, X, Y, or Z, it's every June, 6 months later, every December, we need you. It's last names V through Z now until December 31st. And after December 31st, we won't bug you again until June 1st. This here prepares us. This gives us predictability. It gives us a guaranteed audience because we know who been waiting 5 months for that 6 month to do something. And so when I see a protest or a march or a prayer vigil, and if I see it this month and I see it's all W people out there, Wilsons, Williams, I'm like, good, good, because I know system is working. Whereas if it's random and it's just everybody, you can't count on that. Matter of fact, half the people there won't be able to make it tomorrow. Whereas if you got it under a system, now you understand, okay, tomorrow is this group, the next today it's the Williams, tomorrow's gonna be the Wilsons, the next day is gonna be, you can be methodical and you can have sustainability because everyone you're gonna call been waiting 5 months for this one time to get down and shine. So I hope this video helped. Hope it gave you a little better understanding of why it's important to build capacity, and the capacity allows you to do whatever you want to do, but at least you've done the inventory, you know what you're working with, and you can better adjust because you've gained some insight. So all right, thank you guys for watching. Phone number is 312-405-8844. Please, this is going on YouTube later, but make sure that the people around you, I would say the best way is saying, listen, explaining them what we do. Listen, the bottom line is 40 plus million of us. This group is their goal is to talk to 40 million people and find out what they do and get them in the right bucket. And then that bucket is gonna do what it do every 30 days because that's when all the professions are on duty. So that's a better way of explaining because you get too much in the details, you'll lose them. All right, you guys, the recording has stopped.